Hi, for this video, I want to show you how to find the surface area of a sphere. A sphere is like a ball, a basketball, a softball, baseball, etc. The surface area would be how much material do you need to actually fill up the surface of that basketball or baseball. Okay, so in order to calculate the surface area of a sphere, the formula is 4 pi r squared. Remember that when you are doing the calculations, you can either use the pi button in calculator, or you can use pi is approximately 3.14. So you can use both of those. You can also leave it as an exact value. Sometimes they will ask you to leave it as an exact value, so you will see that sometimes as well. In this case, the radius is given to us, so the radius is going to be 4 centimeters. They did not give us the diameter. If they do give you the diameter, remember that the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, or the radius is equal to half of the diameter. So in this case, they gave us the radius, so we don't need that information, but sometimes they will give you the diameter, so that is important to know. Okay, so if we're doing our calculations to find the surface area, like I said, all we have to do is plug it into our calculator. 4 pi times my radius squared, so I would do 4 centimeters squared, and because this is surface area, the units will always be squared. So then it's just a matter of simplifying. 4 squared is 16, and then if we take 16 times 4, we do end up with 64 pi centimeters squared. And like I said, this is an exact answer, so if they tell you in the directions to leave it as an exact answer, you would be done. Okay. Depending upon the publisher or homework platform that you are working with, sometimes they will say to use 3.14 for pi. And so if they tell you to do that, then you would just take 64 and multiply it by 3.14 centimeters squared. And then when you simplify that, you do end up with 200.96 centimeters squared. So if they ask you to use 3.14, you would just simply plug that into your calculator. If they ask you to use the pi button in your calculator, then you would just do 64 times the pi button in your calculator, and all scientific calculators or graphing calculators have pi somewhere on them, so you just kind of need to know your calculator, but there will be a pi button somewhere on that calculator. If I plug this one in, 64 pi does end up giving me approximately 201.062 centimeters squared. So you can see that these two answers are different from each other. So depending upon your homework platform, some of them will be programmed to take either answer. Some of them will tell you in the directions specifically to use 3.14, and some of them will tell you to use the pi button in your calculator. So just make sure that you read that carefully. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics you would like me to cover, please let me know that as well.